I am so defiantly ashamed of the agency world today because most agency owners are absolute desperate buffoons that have no more than one or two clients and that won't watch the rest of this video. See what I did there? You got to watch the rest of this video because what I'm about to highlight here is a problem that will outline so directly and specifically the issues that pertain to this industry, the agency owner industry, started by all the gurus. Tai Lopez, the first guy who basically started selling the most popular SMMA course, but you might have tasted it from a different brand of guru. It might have been Iman Gadzhi or Charlie Morgan or whoever else is popping off nowadays. The thing is, the one thing that keeps all of these agency boys, which is another name that I just made up for them, so broke and so desperate all the time is because they have bad expectations. They think that they can get to 10K or they should get to 10K in the next month. And if they don't, they could never be the problem. God forbid. I mean, they were working so hard. They were working like a whole 2 hours a day. They were working so damn much. And they made 10 cold calls, man. He made 10, not 9, not 8, 10. And he sent out a whole 50 emails. He couldn't be the problem. Oh, it's the market. It's the niche. SMMA, it's too saturated. AI. Let's go start selling AI. This shiny object syndrome problem that is the biggest issue in agency owners today can be fixed so easily if their expectations are reset. Their expectations need to be reset. I'm here to tell you that it will take you at least a few years to get to the point that you think you're going to get to in the next few months. And that's okay. That's okay. That's the name of the game. But if you come into this game misunderstanding how long things take and how much you actually have to do, Jimmy, you can't do 10 cold calls and expect to be a fucking millionaire. You can't send out 50 emails and expect to be having dinner with Elon Musk and his 12th wife. You can't expect to do that. You got to understand the amount of volume, the amount of time, the amount of effort it takes to actually become rich. And this actually comes from a more fundamental problem. I'm going to get a little philosophical on you. I realized when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a business owner. I was like, I'm going to go into business. I'm going to make so much money. I wanted to become a business owner because I thought that it was easier than whatever the alternative was. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be an engineer. I want to be a business owner because I can make more money and I can sit at home, passive income, Graham Stephan, hurrah, hooray, I'm rich. Turns out, and again, this is probably a deal breaker for a lot of you guys, business is 20 million, quadrillion, Google times harder than any profession out there. If it were easier, as cliche as this sounds, most people in the world would do it, and most people would succeed at it. But more than 90% of businesses fail within the first year. But you know what? Actually, that's not true. I'm going to correct myself. Businesses never fail. Business owners fail. And they never, ever succeed in admitting that it was them, not the market, not the niche. It was them that failed. So if you're one of those people that just switched their niche or just switched their offer, or maybe you still have the same business name, maybe you haven't made a new logo, but maybe you switched something else. I was doing cold email, but cold email, my prospects don't like to read, because nobody knows how to read. Who reads nowadays? I'm gonna make cold calls. You know what you're gonna be saying when you're doing cold calls? You're gonna make like 50 cold calls. I'm prophesizing here. You're gonna make 50 cold calls. You're gonna make your 51st cold call, and you're gonna be like, you know what? My prospects are just deaf. These leads are just deaf. I need to communicate to them in fucking sign language. You guys are stupid. You guys got to understand that the amount of volume that it takes. Like, I was watching a video by the CEO or something of Instantly. He has a good channel, so shout out to him. And we were running a campaign in house, and I had a guy who was running this campaign, and he said we have a bad reply rate. Our reply rate was 3%. Here we have the CEO of Instantly, and if you don't know Instantly, it's a cold email like software. He had a 2.3% reply rate. My guy, I'm ashamed of this. He was telling us, "Oh, we gotta switch this. We gotta. I'm gonna go get a new lead list." The CEO of Instantly, and I don't mean to toot my horn. I wrote the copy. We had a higher reply rate than him. We just hadn't sent out. I think we'd sent out like maybe 20,000 emails at that point. And the guy sent out like in the video. I don't know what video exactly it was. He sent out 50,000 emails. And he had 36 opportunities, whatever the fuck that means. 36 calls. So a lot of boys can sit here, or girls, not being sexist, and do Excel math. Oh, 2 calls. I convert every call. I only got to do 100 calls. And then I just got to pitch my $5,000 thing to them. And oh, wait a minute, a billionaire in 3 weeks. Incorrect. That's not how it works. It takes a lot longer. It's a lot harder. And it's a lot more painful than 99% of anything in the world. And 99% of the time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the niche, nothing wrong with your software, nothing wrong with your leads, nothing wrong with your sales calls. None of these things are the bottlenecks. It's you. You being underskilled, you being undisciplined, you being inconsistent, you being weak, you being scrawny, you being unstoic, if that's even a word. That is the real problem. That is the real hindrance to success. Now, what's the answer? The answer is a slap on the wrist. And as much as people talk badly about, I don't want to, I hate punishment. I've heard so many people say, I hate punishment. It's 10:30, I'm still working. So many people say, I hate punishment. Okay, McKinsey, Goldman Sachs, all of these big investment firms or, consulting firms. What is the philosophy that they follow? What is the narrative? What is the stereotype for people that work there? They want to kill themselves. They want to kill themselves because their systems are punishment based. Every time they mess up, every time something goes wrong, they're given a slap on the wrist. They're given that every report that they submit, and whatever you want to say about their mental health, whatever you want to say about whatever it is that they're doing, it's unethical. Oh, it's this or that. They make a shitload of money, probably more than you, probably more than me. So the answer to the question, or the answer to this problem, is you need a slap on the wrist. And the system that we've created here at Compass, this is going to be a pitch, so buckle up. The system that we've created here at Compass is a CAB system. What that stands for is a Compass Action Block system. We block out time every single day, and there is accountability for you every single hour. The reason why it works so effectively is because it's a slap on the wrist, or at least somebody to answer to, which is what most of you business owners lack. You can switch your niches because you have nobody that you need to answer to. And yeah, you did it for freedom. You joined business, or you started your business, you started your agency for freedom. But right now it's looking like it was the freedom to be broke. You need direction. You need accountability. You need somebody to answer to before you start working on your website. Yeah, I don't like the color on my landing page. Or, we really need to switch our payment processor. I don't even know. There's so many mundane tasks that all of you guys do that I can think of that are the real problem. That, I mean, I'm just going to be lost if I start listing them out. Somebody needs to tell you that that's not what you need to do. You need to make 100 cold calls a day. And you might have told yourself that before. You might have said, oh, yeah, I'm going to make 100 cold calls today. Did you do it? Yes, I did. Did you keep doing it for a month? For 2 months? For 3 months? Why did you stop? Why did you quit? Because you had no accountability. You had nobody to answer to. You had no accountability for the deadlines you set for yourself, if you even set deadlines. You had no accountability to stick to your niche, to stick to your market. You had nobody challenging your ideas. When you said, oh no, the market is saturated, when you knew deep down it wasn't the market, because the market isn't saturated for the guy who's actually successful in the market. It's only saturated for you, sir or ma'am. It's only saturated for you. You had nobody to explain that to. Because if you did have to explain it to someone, you and them, well, you probably already realize it's complete buffoonery, it's complete bullshit. But they would realize too. They'd sit there and be like, huh, wait a minute, this shit doesn't make any sense. Sounds like you're too much of a wuss. You're too much of a pussy. Straight up. And that's why you're going to be broke. If you want accountability, click on the link in the description.